Even if you are the most talented lash artist in your area and you are not licensed, no one knows it until you go opening your mouth and saying it. And so now you have a target on your back, and the moment these licensed lash artists get mad at you for doing your thing and progressing, and they find out that you are not licensed, baby, the state board is coming to get you. Like, I'm shocked. I really thought that I made a video about this subject. Like, I could have swore I made a video about this, but I didn't, so here we are. What is good, you guys? Welcome back to my channel, you guys. I'm so excited to have you here. My name is Autumn, and I teach aspiring lash artists and create digital content and courses for the service-based beautypreneur. All right, you guys, I am so excited for this video. I know I say that every single time, but today, out of all the videos that I've done so far, I'm really excited about this video because this is a video that I feel like I should have done already, and I don't know why I haven't. So here we are. But this video, I'm sure you read the title, is about everything that you need to know about eyelash extensions. Like, I'm gonna be giving you the truth, I'm gonna be giving you the tea, I'm gonna be giving you the real honest opinion from a big sister standpoint. Like, let's take the professionalism stuff off the table. Like, I'm gonna give you some real tips and advice on how to achieve your goals. If you are already a lash artist and you're finding a little success, but you are kind of unsure about what your next steps are, this video will help you. If you are interested and you have no idea about eyelash extensions, but you kind of think you're interested in it, please watch this video all the way to the end, because there's so much information that you are going to feel like you know if you want to do this or not by the end of it. And for all you in-betweeners and all you people who are just curious in general, like, there's something in here for you, whether it is about going after your dreams or just, you know, taking the steps necessary to get you to where you need to be. And I'm not even going to long talk you, but I will not hold you guys. I will be looking down at my notes. I made 11 pages of typed out notes because I didn't want to miss a thing. So I wanted to make it all cute and professional and like, oh, I remembered everything, but no. Eyelash extensions are semi-permanent fibers that are attached to your natural lashes in order to make your eyelashes look longer, fuller, and darker. Individual eyelash extensions are applied to each of your individual natural lashes, one extension per natural lash, using a semi-permanent adhesive. They range from classic styles, which is the one lash attached to your natural lash, to volume lashes, which are a handmade volume fan attached to each of your natural lashes. Hybrid, which is a cross between the two of classic and volume mix, which people love, to just regular Russian volume, which is just a 0.07 all the way through, or mega volume, which I love, and that is where we get our fullest, fluffiest lashes, but lightweight handmade fans, which are more wide in nature. And of course, the lash industry is always trending because it's such a very relatively new service within the beauty industry. So there's so many trends that come and go, but right now there's so many different add-ons such as colored lashes, glitter lashes, decals, the controversial extendo lashes, which range from 20 millimeters to 25, and I'm even hearing now they have up to 30. So do you, that's you. And to my absolute favorite, wispy lashes paired with bottom lashes. Die. So the benefits of eyelash extensions for your client are the enhancement of the eyes. They wake up feeling refreshed, and when it's done correctly to enhance someone's natural eye shape, it looks good on almost anyone. But it is a very niche specific clientele, so there's a lot to cover there and understand, which we will cover later in this video. So lash extensions, performing the service of doing eyelash extensions it is a very meticulous work. And I don't know who, told people that it was easy to do. It is really not easy to do. And there's so much that you learn about not just eyelash extensions, but you learn about hygiene and healthcare and all these things, because we're dealing with people's eyes, so you can't just go and just apply lashes and think that it's okay. Like, no, there's so much that you have to do. You have to make sure your isolation is correct. You have to make sure you're separating lashes and not applying lashes on baby lashes. Like, there's so much that comes to that. So it is not something for you to think that you could just come in and just do and it's going to be very easy. Like, no, this is something that you literally have to work with. All right, so you have to work with it and you have to work for it. Like, you have to work to get good at it. All right, so the people who are putting it up as a money grab, it's not like that. It is really work that you have to work to get good at. All right, become a lash artist, who can become a lash artist, all those questions. I want to take a look at the facts actually. And keep in mind, this is a relatively newer beauty service in the cosmetology aesthetics field, but there's plenty of room to grow and make a career and a profitable business model that you can scale and make multiple streams of income from this one sector of you just starting out doing lashes. So there's been many people who have come in and just really taken off and made this whole thing into a brand and a business, and that is possible for every single last one of us because it is such a relatively newer service, and there's not a whole lot of regulations across the board for what can and can't be done, and they vary from state to state. So we're going to take a look at the facts when it comes to this, because within the years to come, I believe that there will be more consistency on regulations from state to state. But let's go ahead and clear this up. We're going to talk about what is legally required for persons to perform eyelash extensions. I'm in the States, in the US, but I did include a few international countries that I want to talk about just in case we have people who are living in other countries. If you are curious about other countries and their regulations, I think it's good to know, because this is how you can educate your clients or your students if you are a teacher. All right, so for international requirements in Canada, most provinces in Canada do not require any licensing for who can perform the service of eyelash extensions and also who can teach it, which is amazing for our Canadian friends across the board. However, they do have specific regulations for the workplace if you decide to work in a shop, a spa, a salon. So most provinces have their own personal service industry standards and regulations, and require inspection by an inspector prior to starting the business, prior to opening up your shop, and annually thereafter, which is similar to the States in that aspect. But that's really all you need to work in a shop in Canada. So in Europe, it is the same as Canada. Like, you guys are really great. Like, you guys get to go do your thing and not have to go to school for it or whatnot. But the one thing I will say that I love about Europe's policies, and some of the companies that I come across, they stress how important it is to attend a recognized training course which qualifies you to perform the treatments. And so it's like a certificate here. It's not necessarily like a license, but there are a few major lash companies that offer extensive accredited courses in classic, individual, Russian, and express lashes. Those specific accredited courses allow you to gain the appropriate insurance for your business. These courses vary from a 3-day class to 4 weeks or more. Although you don't obtain a license, it is a good option to take a accredited course because it gets you on the Lash directory on the site for when clients are looking for people and they come across these big company sites, they can go to the Lash directory and they can go in their area and they can see who all offers that service. So although those classes are more expensive, I think it's a good way to kind of get you out there to put yourself in a position to get more clients and to get the help with getting more clients. So back in 2017, I took my first lash class and I trained with Extreme Lashes, which at that time there was not a lot of major lash companies who were out, but there were only few who were actually teaching courses. And Extreme was one of them, Lash Fox, I believe, and Borboleta, I believe. And I still remember to this day, like, that helped me get on the Lash Directory site, which did kind of help me a little bit when I worked in the shop where people were looking and wanting to know about eyelash extensions, and it was still fairly new to the area. They could go on Extreme and then they could find me in the shop. So that was the beauty of um, taking an accredited course or taking a course with a major company who can help you jumpstart your career. All right. So that's the two that I chose from international because I know I have people from Europe that watch my channel and people from Canada that watch my channel. And I think it's just interesting to see how different it is from the States because the States is all over the place, you know. So out of all 50 states in the US, all but seven, all of them but seven, require some form of licensing, but the State Department of each state and not all states require some of these specific licenses that I'm about to list, but most do. So, of course, the common top two licenses that you need in order to legally perform eyelash extensions are cosmetology and esthetician, of course. There's also medical esthetician, barber license, and even in a few states, hairdressers can do eyelash extensions. And I was very surprised to not see nail licenses on there because I think that that would be something that nail artists would probably want to add on as well. So I am very shocked that, you know, with how well they are with their hygiene practices, like how a nail license does not allow you to do eyelash extensions. So that was something new that I learned. So in a few states, such as here in Texas, they have eyelash extension specialty licenses, which the one here in Texas I think is about 320 hours, and they all vary from state to state. Not every state allows that, but a lot of states do, which is a great alternative if you know that you directly want to go into being a lash artist and you don't want to take any more extra classes than you need to, like esthetician classes or cosmetology classes. Like you can go straight through and get your lash license and be able to work in a salon. But let me be clear, a license is what you need legally to work as a lash artist, to work in a salon, and to legally take payment for your services. All right, so I'm going to be clear about that off the bat, moving before we move forward to this next section. So while we're here, let's talk about certifications. So a certification of completion does not replace a license or cover state requirements. However, in the 7 states that have no regulations, this would obviously benefit you greatly. And when you get a certificate of completion, it is normally for learning a certain technique of eyelash extensions, or when you take you get your certificate from taking a accredited lash course. It's kind of like the same thing, but it does not replace a license needed to work in a shop legally. If you are licensed, do you need certifications? That is a question that I have been asked very, very often in my DMs over on IG. And absolutely, you need other certificates as well. They only do nothing but help you, especially when you're learning new techniques, different techniques. Any other extra education that you can add under your belt will help you on top of your license. Don't think just because you have your license that you'll try your hand at lashes and that it's going to work out for you. Like, no, take a class and actually learn the tools needed to help you become a successful lash artist. I want to cover right here in this section. I'm not here to bash anyone, but I'm here to give you the facts. And some of it like might be slightly a little bit controversial, but hey, I'm never been a hater. I'm here to help you get to the level that you need to go to. So let me start out by saying that all of the lash artists, including myself, all the lash artists that I know personally have not always done everything by the book starting out. If you have extra brownie points for you, and this is my story and I'm keeping it 100%, I am a licensed cosmetologist, yes, and I have been for over 10 years. But did I follow everything to a T? No. When I quit my job back in 2019 to start my own thing, I started working out of my apartment in Florida in a spare bedroom with a bathroom and everything, just a spare room, and I made it my thing. And was it under state regulation? Hell no. Like, I was not going by state regulation. However, I am so grateful for that time in my life because I was able to sit down and figure out what I wanted to do. I was able to try new things without having overhead. I was able to figure out what I wanted to specialize in. I was able to cast my net out and start traveling from state to state to do lashes, and I was able to build a clientele where I live now and still keep and manage my clients in Florida. And it was just amazing. Like, I learned so much about myself and about the business by keeping my costs low. So I don't regret that part. And of course, it wasn't in the regulations, but I really don't regret that part because, like, that's what I needed at that time to get me to where I needed to be. And I've noticed that a lot of licensed lash artists and the non licensed lash artists like are finding so much success within this specific niche regardless of if they are licensed or not. This is one of the one little sectors in the beauty industry where you can grow as you please and there's not really a cap on it. So that does not negate what you actually need legally in order to be successful. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that the lane to get there for everyone is going to look different no matter if you're licensed or not. So also, let's be clear, like, no cap. Some of your favorite lash artists are killing it in the game. They're not licensed, or they're in the process of getting licensed, or have gotten licensed after they met their type of success. And I also know someone who was never licensed, ran it up, and then now she has other people working for her and she does not even work behind the chair. It does not make them less than, and it also does not make licensed lash artists more than. And I want to clarify that because I see in some of these groups on social media how people just kind of like pit one against the other, and instead of educating each other and commending people on where they got to now. Because if you have built a successful business or you're on your way to building a successful clientele, you know how difficult it can be regardless if you are licensed or not. And instead of bashing people, we need to be educating them on the correct way to do things so that way they will have an opportunity just like you have an opportunity, because there's so much opportunity in this for everyone no matter where you're at right now. But I want to educate and give you the facts on what you need so that way if you see the way for yourself, do it the right way and go do what you need to do. So what you really need to do is define the path for you and focus on that and educate when needed, but stop focusing and placing so much focus on what other people are doing and focus on the path that you're going down. All right, so I hope so far that this is helping you guys out because I really want to see all my girls with potential live that lifestyle, live that freedom that comes from doing your own thing in the way that suits you and your projected lifestyle. All right, guys. So I'm looking down at the notes right now. So if you see me looking down, that's what I'm doing. We are going to get into these tips. I have tips for so many people in the section. So I have tips for licensed lash artists. I have tips for non-licensed lash artists. I have tips for aspiring in school artists and the aspiring lash artists who have not taken a class, course, or anything. Like, I have something for everyone. All right, so I'm going to start out with my licensed girls because there's not much that you probably already don't know, but I have some tips for you if you want to get to the next level, if you see yourself growing, or you don't know that there's a possibility that you can grow in this industry. You can grow. My top tip for licensed lash artists is to always expand your skill, continuing your education. And the best way to do that is to learn from your peers. Someone you admire, someone who specializes in something different than you. Take classes from bigger brand companies and your local lash artist who is killing the game. Take a class and support your sis because you already know what it's like to not to want people to support you. And if you want someone to support you, you need to be able to support someone else because that's how reciprocity is given. All right, so take a class from someone that you admire and take specialty classes like layering classes, like mega volume, like wispy, like bottom lash courses, things like that to help you to add little tools to your kit. Not much more of another volume class or classic class unless you really want that. But I believe every year you should be taking classes. And not to even mention like just lash classes and courses, also taking classes for business, marketing classes, hiring a business coach, an accountant, a marketing agency will be a great benefit to set you up to make that leap from being behind the chair owner to a entrepreneur business owner. So if you see that for yourself, like those are my top tips for you. Always be progressing and sharpening your mindset. And if you feel like you're in a good place with you're happy with the way that you do lashes, start focusing on other classes and business classes and finance classes. Hire that accountant, you guys. Hire that accountant, hire that assistant to help you do the back end work. Trust me, that's what you need to take you to the next level because it's hard for you to be behind the chair, fulfill the products, and do everything else that you want to do. All right. So, my in school artists, soon to be lash artists, if you are in cosmetology esthetician school or you are in school right now and you have not got your license, have not taken the state board, honestly, this is the perfect time for you. If you know that you want to go the lash industry route while you're in school, I say take some classes from other artists in your area. Make sure they're licensed so you can get that support and that understanding on learning hygiene and things like that. And it will be consistent across the board with what you're already learning. So start off marketing yourself as a lash student, artist, or lash artist in training. I like that statement better. And make sure you specify on your social media, like you can put in your bio, licensed lash artist in training, or cosmetology license loading, esthetician license loading, so that way you let people know. If you are in school currently and you are doing lashes, the best thing you can do is to practice, take pictures, videos, post all your work, post your journey because post about your failures, post about the things that you're learning, post about your corrections. It is an honest and vulnerable way to put yourself out there, but let me tell you why it is the best thing. I still have a lot of my old work up from like when I first started, even when I branded under my personal name now. Back then, I was too scared to put my name on something that I was not sure of. But once I rebranded and I put my name on it, I knew that everything else was gonna like take off. But I still have it back then when I had my stuff under another name. I have pictures back when I was doing makeup. I have my whole journey still on my Instagram page, because you know what that tells? That tells the progress and the consistency. Like the client can go look and see like where you started your journey. And sometimes some people will only come to you if they see that consistency. Imagine you going to a lash artist and you only see her post like once every 2 months, or like she's not consistent with her posting, she's not consistent with putting herself out there. Like even if you're in school, people love to see a journey. I love to see a good journey, but sometimes people have come to me finally after years of following me, and then they tell me like, I came to you because you were consistent, I've seen your work be consistent, I've seen you grow in your work, I'm excited to, you know, sit in your chair. So there's so much opportunity for you right now to get potential clients if you're in school, and just share your journey. Like it's not perfect. They know it's not perfect. You're still in school, but that sets you up for being consistent with the posting schedule, with social media, with clientele, engaging. You get more comfortable with putting yourself out there. You get more comfortable in your work. You'll see yourself progress. That is a time where you need to discipline and just take people on a journey. I promise you can go no wrong if you do that. And I love the fact that if you're in school, I know in some states they offer apprenticeships. Like you have to get your license, then go into an apprenticeship depending on which state you are in. But even if you're not, go and work at a salon, go and be an assistant to a lash artist. The thing is, you have to take control and start putting yourself out there very early on if you want to see success. If you already have sat and projected where you want to be, if it's a business owner, if it's running a suite, if it's running and managing other people under you, like the only way that you can get there is you need to strategize, and you need to link up with people who are already on that path or who are already there, learn from those people, and just offer yourself as being an assistant to them. And that's not a bad thing. That is not a bad thing, because you learn more by sitting and watching and observing more than you do actually being hands on, especially when you are in the position where you are in need to learn something. All right. So I'm excited for you girls who are in school and want to be a lash artist and already are on their way to being a lash artist. The Everything is just endless for you right now, and I'm glad that you are here watching this and getting the information that you need to help you further you on to your next level. Next, we're going to talk about mobile lash artists and travel lash artists. They're kind of one and the same, but I'm not going to spend too much time on those because I've made two separate videos on these topics that have so much information on them. And I have experience with traveling, like hopping on a plane traveling. I don't have very much experience with mobile lash artists. But the thing was, I feel like being a mobile lash artist, that could be a very specific niche for someone. That if that's something that you're considering, if you don't want the overhead of a suite, you don't want to have a home studio, you don't want to have any of that, um, you can go be a mobile lash artist. And I think if you market it in a way that is very like niche specific and for a certain ideal clientele, like the possibilities are endless for you being that person. Like I don't know a lot of people who do it, but I'm sure off the convenience alone, that the client is paying for the convenience alone, that you can come in, if you crunch your numbers correctly, you are making more than you are putting out. And you have to think about gas, you have to think about your tools, packing up your tools, and there's also other things you have to think about as far as safety measures. So as good as the trade-off is for making the money, you also have to realize that you don't have much control over some things when you go to other people's houses to perform the services. So please watch that video, the mobile lash tech video, for the safety tips in that, if that's something that you are considering. So a travel lash artist, I loved being a travel lash artist. I love traveling to other states to go do things, but before I moved here to Austin, I used to travel here. If you go back and watch like my vlog, like I have an old ass vlog, and you'll see that I was coming here and I was building my clientele. That was back when I was working from home and doing all the things that I'm telling you now. But I loved it. It was so much fun. It really opened my eyes to really defining who my ideal client was. But not just that, it also opened my eyes to just the freedom that can come from doing your own thing and knowing that it's not going to look like freedom. To me, is not going to look like everyone else. And if you are itching and dying to just get out there and see the world, like I think that traveling and being a travel lash tech, like hopping on a plane and going to a different state, could be good for you. So my tips with that is, my top tip with that is to make sure that you find a studio or a suite that you can rent out and they are available. The cost and the overhead for it is extremely low. So I believe I was paying $50 a day, and at that time, I think my highest set at that particular time when I first started was like 180 or 200. So imagine taking however many clients. It was $50 for like 8 hours. So imagine me taking like 6 clients, let's just say, at 180 a piece, and I'm only paying $50. Like I have everything I need. She had the bed, she had the light, she had everything that I needed for me to work there, and it was great. It was amazing. I made so much money doing that. So if that's something that you are interested in, please go watch the video. If you want to really follow through and do it, go watch the master class that I have on that. It is still half off. It is an hour and 30-minute video with a 13-page interactive workbook to help set you up to go travel. So if that's something that you're looking for, I'll just leave the link down below. So the next one we are going to talk about, let me get my notes together. I'm just gonna hold it because I can't keep looking down like that. All right, so we're gonna talk to the unsure people, the side hustlers, the people who are not sure at all but have a little bit of interest. So I've taught current lash artists, people who are in school, people who are in different fields of the beauty industry, and I've also taught women who want to know more about eyelash extensions but are unsure if they want to go into this field or even know if they want to obtain a license. My advice to you is to first watch this video all the way to the end, and hopefully it answers a little bit of questions. Hopefully you see the benefits and the opportunities that there are for being a lash artist. And if that's something that you still are a little bit like, I think I want to try, my recommendation is to just take a class. Take a class from someone in your area who is really good at what they do. Like they are consistent, they have the following, they have people, like a lot of people that they see. You can consistently see their work. People have nothing but good things to say to them. Their reputation is good. Make sure that you take a class from them just to kind of see, because I have had people take my class just to realize like they didn't want to do eyelash extensions and they were happy that they did that rather than go to cosmetology school, esthetician school, and find out that they really did not like it. Because for some people, like I said, they don't realize how meticulous lash artistry is. So they realize that it was just not for them. And also make sure you go to someone who can actually give you information, some ongoing mentorship, and direct you to the areas that you want to be, because you might realize, like I said, you don't want to be a lash artist. I have two girls that I know that I've taught. One of them decided she didn't want to be a lash artist after taking my class, and then we talked a little bit and she figured out she really wanted to be a makeup artist. So I pointed her in the right direction there. Another girl, she realized she didn't want to do lashes, but she was obsessed with brows. So she got her tattoo license and all the things necessary for that, and she's killing it with the brows right now. So sometimes you might need to take a class on the things that interest you to see if it's something that you want to really pursue. And there's really no right or wrong way with this. I'm just saying that if you do want to do it and you see yourself really progressing with wanting to do it, then go get the legal documentation that you need at some point. All right. Okay. So the last people I want to talk to are my non-licensed lash artists. And I love you guys, so keep in mind that what I'm getting ready to tell you is coming from a big sister. All right. So non-licensed lash artists, meaning that you actually work and do lashes and are not licensed or legally have the documentation that you need to perform eyelash extensions and legally take payment to do eyelash extensions. All right. So if you are expanding and gaining clientele and you see the way that you can progress in this industry, you see how this is becoming very beneficial to you. You see that you love it. You see that you are on the way to doing something super amazing. My tip to you is just absolutely simple. Get your license. And I say that like not saying that as bashing you, because I'm not here to do that. I'd never do that. But I'm saying that because, girl, like, for you to have all this talent to be able to perform and do lashes amazingly and to gain clientele, like that means that's something there for you, and I don't want you to ruin your chances of not being able to be the lash artist and to have the business that you want to have. So the reality is that when you want something and you have worked hard to better your skill set, you spent the money to learn, you follow nothing but lash artists on your IG, you watch this video, you watch other lash artists, you are so invested in progressing and bettering yourself, you need to at some point get the things that you need to protect you and what you have already started to build, right? I've seen many people come after a non-licensed lash artist, and when the state board is called on you, there is absolutely nothing you can do. The consequences for the state board being called on you are not worth it if you can help it. If you get the state board called on you, you will absolutely be fined. Like, absolutely. Like, when they come to put the fines on you, and the other violations that are there that piles up on top of that, like, it's going to cost you so much money. Aside from being fined for performing services and not having the proper documentation, imagine them coming into a space or your space or wherever you're performing these services, and they fine you for the other things that you don't have that you would need if you were licensed, like not having the proper documentations or your licenses hung up, or the proper sanitation tools, the solutions, all those things. And those things, especially the sanitation things, those things, they could shut the whole shop down. So especially if you are working in a salon suite or something and you're not licensed and they allowed you to do that, the fines are coming down on everyone. To decide if it's really worth it to you, because once you exceed 3 violations, you will be blacklisted in the state board's database and you can never have a chance to obtain your license. So you won't be able to get a cosmetology license, esthetician license, like you will not be able to get the proper documentation to proceed with what you have already built. And that is really sad to me because I've seen it happen to a few people. So here's my main tip for the unlicensed lash artists who are working. They're getting their coins, they're doing their thing, they got their clientele. Um, and my licensed lash artist might be a little mad for me saying this, but I don't care. Like, you girls, like, you have something here, and I want to give you this one piece of advice. If you don't listen to anything else that I say, like, listen to this, and you might need to come a little closer so I could just drag you just a little bit. Stop telling your business on social media that you are not licensed. Stop pitting yourself against licensed lash artists. Even if you are the most talented lash artist in your area and you are not licensed, no one knows it until you go opening your mouth and saying it. And so now you have a target on your back. And the moment these licensed lash artists get mad at you for doing your thing and progressing, and they find out that you are not licensed, baby, the state board is coming to get you and to clear you. And it's going to be no one's fault but yours, because you need to be quiet. All right. Listen, I'm never gonna shame anyone because we all start somewhere. That is one thing. But that is how y'all get caught up, because you go around and your ego is getting you messed up because you are putting yourself with a target. You are putting a target on your back for someone to come and take everything that you have already worked so hard for. So my top tip to you is to zip it. And if you're doing well, go get your damn license. Like, just go, even if you have to at night. Move your clients to the weekend, move your clients to the evening, or whatever it is you have to do. Keep your head down, be quiet about what you're doing, and go get your credentials. Because if that happens to you where someone calls the state board on you, like, you honestly really cannot be mad at yourself because you did not do your due diligence to make sure that you have everything that you needed and set yourself up in a way that you can start going to school. All right. So that is my top tip to you guys. Go get your license. And until then, lay low, do your thing, but don't go out here being in your ego and expressing how you feel. Because even if you are great at what you do, I'm not even saying that you got to be humble, girl. I'm not even saying that. But know that within yourself and carry that in your character and in your integrity and in your work. And really have the absolute character and integrity to do the right thing. So whether you get your license today, whether you start school tomorrow, next week, next month, or whatever, make the steps necessary to do so. And it's as simple as that. Like, either you want it or you don't. And when it comes time for you to progress and grow, when you don't have the credentials that you need to do certain things and to get in some of these places, like, it's not going to be a good look for you if you're trying to get a suite and the state board needs to come in and check and you do not have what you need. Okay? So that is the reality of the situation. Like, especially you who are amazingly talented. Like, what are you doing here, girl? So if you were here, I would hit you with my paper. All right? All right, so I think that's all of the people that I wanted to talk to. And remember, you guys, here, I'm your big sis. Let's take the professionalism off the table right now. I am your big sis, and big sis really only wants you to be great. And if anybody knows from lived experience what really, like, taking the steps necessary can do to get you to where you want to be, like, I just want you guys to have that same feeling of what it feels like to be doing your own thing and getting your own things done, right? So, wherever you are on this list, like, just take a tip from what I'm saying and start working on that. All right? So, next section.